Hi there, it's Imran Gori, and welcome to this guided tour of Faasera, where intelligent automation meets data compliance, privacy, and modernization. I was actually preparing this as a live demo for a healthcare use case and figured why not record it and share the full journey with you? Data today lives everywhere. We've got legacy systems, cloud platforms, analytics, pipelines, and of course, AI, all trying to pull from the same pool of information. The challenge? Making sure that data stays secure, compliant, and ready for whatever system needs it next. In this demo, we are not just walking through features, we are stepping into a real world healthcare scenario from end to end. You'll see how Faasera brings together mainframe data, cloud databases, CRMs like Salesforce, and service platforms like ServiceNow, and turns them into clean, governed, AI ready datasets with automation built in. So whether you care about privacy, regulatory, compliance, modernization, or just building smarter data pipelines, you're in the right place. Here's a quick rundown of what we'll walk through today. First, we'll kick things off with an architecture overview to show how all the systems, tools, and components connect together. Then we'll dive into the Medallion architecture, bronze for raw ingestion, silver for transformation, and gold for compliance. After that, we'll take a look at the compliance policy matrix, the logic that drives our field level privacy decisions. Next, we'll step into Azure Data Factory and walk through the pipelines that orchestrate our entire data flow. Then it's over to Databricks, where I'll show you notebooks covering silver transformations, ServiceNow case enrichment, Salesforce lead tracking, and how we apply gold layer masking using Faasera's SDK. And finally, while I won't be diving into them live, I'll briefly cover where this clean, compliant data ends up. Synapse for analytics, Power BI for dashboards, and AI pipelines powered by vector stores, where your masked compliant data becomes searchable by LLMs in a safe and responsible way. These destinations are important. They show the real value of compliant, trusted data. But in the interest of time, I'll keep that part high level. So with that, let's jump in. Now, before we jump into the architecture, let's talk about why this really matters. AI is transforming how businesses operate, but it's only as smart as the data behind it. If that data isn't protected, validated, or aligned with policies, it's just risk waiting to happen. That's why Faasera prepares clean, compliant data that's ready to be indexed in vector stores. So when your AI system generates a response, you know it's backed by trusted, policy aligned information. You don't just get AI friendly data, you get responsible AI with governance built in from the start. Let's kick things off with the big picture, the architecture. At the source, we are dealing with a variety of systems, each with their own structure, sensitivity, and business context. Mainframe VSAM files, these still hold critical member records stored in COBOL layouts and FCDIC encoding. Azure SQL, this is our structured engine where transactional data lives, claims, authorizations, and payment records, all normalized but privacy sensitive. CosmosDB, this is where things get a bit more flexible. It stores semi-structured JSON document, including diagnosis histories, care notes, and alerts tied to members or devices. Salesforce, our CRM source. It handles inbound leads, outbound campaign touches, and attribution data that's valuable for member growth and engagement tracking. ServiceNow Care, the front line of customer experience. It stores support tickets, resolution notes, and service logs, data that's often sensitive and includes free text fields. These systems are very different, but the goal is the same: get the data safely into the cloud, standardize it, and protect it for analytics, AI, and operational use. So how does that happen? That's where Azure Data Factory comes in. It's the orchestrator behind the curtain, using the Medallion architecture to break things into bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze is for raw ingestion, snapshots from source systems. Silver is for transformation, where we normalize schemas, enrich records, and prepare for compliance. And gold, that's where Faasera steps in to apply masking, profiling, and validation, making the data safe for consumption. We also have Slack for operational alerts, BMC Control M to schedule and orchestrate complex workflows, and yes, vector store integrations to push approved gold data into AI environments responsibly. This is the foundation of secure modern data operation, designed not just for compliance, but for agility and insight. So what's in the medallion layers? Bronze holds raw, untouched data, VSAM files, CosmosDB dumps, SQL copies straight from source. Silver applies schema normalization, field level transformations, joins, and enrichments. For example, we enrich support cases with member names or normalize claim dates into a clean format. And finally, in the gold layer, we apply Faasera's masking, profiling, and validation capabilities using our built-in SDK for Databricks. Since all enrichment already happens within Databricks, this makes the process seamless, scalable, and infrastructure-free. Now, it's worth noting that Faasera also offers Azure Comply functions, ideal for lightweight serverless compliance in pipelines like ADF or event-driven scenarios. But in this use case, Databricks SDK is the perfect fit for tight integration and batch processing. Here's a look at the compliance policy matrix. This table defines exactly what's masked, from names, emails, SSNs, and phone numbers, to more contextual fields like case descriptions, notes, and medication names. Each rule is mapped to regulatory requirements like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI, and applied consistently across the pipeline. The goal here is to make your data safe, usable, and audit ready. All right, now let's jump into Azure Data Factory, where all of our orchestration happens. What you're looking at here is the full journey of our data from raw ingestion to compliant governed output, flowing through the bronze, silver, and gold layers. Let's start with the bronze layer. Here we use copy activities to ingest data from a diverse range of source systems, VSAM files from mainframe. This is where Faasera's mainframe functions kick in, converting binary abscedic files into modern formats like Parquet, and ingesting structured and semi-structured data from Azure SQL, CosmosDB, Salesforce, and ServiceNow, each with its own shape and context. These sources all feed into our bronze layer in Delta Lake, which serves as our raw ingestion zone. We retain source data here in its native format or lightly structured representation, which is critical for traceability, lineage tracking, and reproducibility across pipelines. Next, we transition to the silver layer using Databricks notebooks triggered as ADF activities. These notebooks standardize schemas, format dates, normalize fields, and enrich records. For example, claims are joined with member details, case logs are enriched with user metadata, and identifiers are cleaned to ensure downstream compatibility. And the gold layer? This is where Faasera's SDK comes into play. We call Databricks notebooks that use Faasera's native masking functions to apply privacy policies defined in our gold masking policy matrix data. So, as you can see, ADF isn't just moving data. It's orchestrating a powerful policy-driven pipeline from raw ingestion all the way to governed AI-ready output. Our next stop is Databricks, the heart of our transformation and compliance workflows. This is where things come together across the silver and gold layers using familiar notebook-based development. Let's start with the silver layer notebooks. You'll see how we take raw bronze data from systems like Mainframe, CosmosDB, and Azure SQL and apply standardization logic, trimming fields, normalizing dates, flattening nested structures, and applying business logic like field derivations or enrichments. For example, in our CosmosDB alerts and care notes collections, we extract embedded fields and align schemas so they can be joined with core records like members or claims. In the claims and authorization notebooks, we clean monetary fields, validate IDs, and prepare them for downstream analytics. And in ServiceNow, we join support case records with our members table, enriching cases with contextual info like first and last names, so teams can resolve issues faster and with full visibility. Once the silver layer is ready, we shift focus to the goal layer where Faasera's SDK for Databricks kicks in. Using our built-in SDK, we apply column-level massing, optional profiling, and validation rules, all directly within Spark. This approach is super efficient, especially in Spark native environments like Databricks. No need to spin up additional infrastructure or orchestrate across services. That said, if you prefer a serverless model, Faasera also supports Azure Complete Functions, which let you apply the same masking and validation logic from within ADF or event-driven workflows. But in this pipeline, since all our enrichment happens right here in Databricks, the SDK approach keeps everything streamlined, centralized, and easy to maintain. We also walk through Salesforce notebooks, where we join campaign and lead data with member records, helping us track lead to member conversion attribution and understand campaign effectiveness. So whether you're cleaning raw data, enriching it with cross system lookups, or applying privacy rules, it all happens right here in the notebook. Once our data has been cleaned, enriched, and made compliant, where does it go? It feeds directly into Azure Synapse for scalable analytics and ad hoc querying, perfect for data teams working at scale. It powers Power BI dashboards, giving business users real-time compliant insights they can trust. And it's indexed into Vector Store so that AI models and assistants have a safe, masked, and policy-aligned context to draw from. This means whether it's an analyst running reports in Synapse, a Power BI dashboard surfacing insights, or a secure OLM accessing context from a vector store, everything flows from the same trusted policy-aligned foundation. That's all for today. We've gone from legacy mainframe files to cloud-native AI-ready data sets, all while protecting sensitive information and automating compliance. If you're modernizing systems, building responsible AI, or simply trying to deliver trusted data to your teams, Faasera gives you the foundation to do it right. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the next walkthrough.